Are you struggling to hire diesel mechanics or technicians? Many companies are. If you are, you'll definitely want to listen to this episode because the thing we talk about is the one thing that you're going to want to avoid as a recruiter. Hey everybody, welcome back to Listening In with Seth. So as per usual, we've got a fantastic call queued up. And the reason we picked this call today, one, it's for diesel technicians. And two, it goes over the one thing that you don't want to do as a recruiter. So we'll jump into that as per usual. This is a real call, but we've re-recorded it to protect the innocent. So without further ado, let's jump in and start listening. Not a real long call, it's about 4 minutes, but gives us plenty of content to talk about.
Luke Jackson.
Yeah. I got a phone call from you guys about, I guess, the Alberta position, the diesel mechanic.
Yeah, for diesel mechanic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So do you, so basically the Ridgeline Distribution Center is the second largest in the company. It has its own truck shop.
All right, so already, right, we're only 24 seconds into it, and we've already identified that one thing that you want to avoid as a recruiter, which is what? What did you hear? The recruiter almost caught himself to where he was about to ask the person who called in a question, but for some reason, he stopped himself and did what? Well, let me tell you all about the company. Right? So what a huge opportunity here that was missed to talk about the person who called in. So let's see how long it takes now for this call to become about the person who called in and not about the recruiter or the company.
Around 250 drivers out of there. I think it's about 150 cabs. Everything is pretty much between 1 and 3 years old, and we service anywhere from Twin Peaks, Wisconsin, up through Madison.
Is that Madison County?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, Madison. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're Midwest, so everything from just below Madison down to Louisville.
Okay.
And then our Mid-Atlantic division picks up east of there, going through Maine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's basically, we're open pretty much 24/7. It's a good place to work. We're looking for, all good, stable people.
Exactly. So all that work you say is coming through that site in Alberta, right?
Yeah, and there's other positions where they go get it. If they have a truck, if there's a truck that has to go get got, or a truck has to be fixed on the side of the road, there are also roving mechanics.
Okay, because I'll tell you what I do.
All right. So it's a shorter call, as I mentioned. So we're almost halfway through the call already. And what do we know about the technician calling in? Nothing, right? Now, the recruiter disclosed some potentially relevant information, kind of the size of the operation and how it works a little bit. But we know nothing about the individual who called in. I think even in the beginning, he mentioned that he was calling back, right? So what would be a good question to start this off with? Probably something along the lines of, hey, really appreciate you calling us back. What was it about the job that you saw that I can tell you more about, that you're interested in? What caught your attention? At least then we already begin to uncover the individual's motivation, and we can share relevant information. But the technician at this point has to kind of cut the person off to say, well, here's a little bit about me, just in case you were wondering. So now we'll get to learn a little bit about the technician.
Well, I'm an owner-operator. I got my own authority. I've been doing this for I've had my authority for about 7-8 years now. Been operating for 10 plus years. So I consider myself a diesel mechanic. I didn't go to school for it, but I do a lot of work on my rig, and even when it came to doing the in-frame a couple of times on it. And
Okay.
yeah, so brake chambers, I've adjusted aft cams, braking drums. Let's see what else. I've done shocks. You know, you name it, pretty much on the truck. Airbag, all those little valves, air fittings, you name it.
Okay.
You name it, I fiddled with it. You know, I got my
And
own
you mess
tools.
with the drivetrain?
What was that?
Can you repair the drivetrain?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not sure who's going to re-record this call, but I wish you good luck because he just rattled off a ton of stuff that's a foreign language to me, right? I'm not familiar with all those mechanical terms, but he's disclosing some of his experience, right? The things that he's worked on in the past. Now, as he mentioned, he didn't go to school for this, but he's got a lot of practical experience. So one thing that we'll continue to listen for as this goes on is that may create a little bit of doubt in the recruiter's mind of, is this individual a good fit? And so what I would recommend is if that recruiter's having that thought of, well, we actually do need somebody trained and not somebody with just, life experience, the recruiter really should be open and honest with the individual and say, hey, sounds like you've got some great experience. However, at this time, the folks that we're bringing on board have to have whatever, right? And then begin to explain the specific requirements or qualifications. Otherwise, you're just kind of stringing this individual along. So there's only a little bit more, about a minute or so left, so let's finish it out and then we'll wrap it up and talk about takeaways.
If you brought up a rig or you brought in a trailer and you were citing a leak or something like that and you needed to switch the brake chambers off, yeah, I definitely, I got you.
Okay.
So I was just trying to figure out the schedule, and it looks like what you want is 410s.
Yeah, it's 410s pretty much.
Okay, so 410s. And so I was trying to see how I could work that out with my schedule and with my business. I mean, obviously I could get a driver, but I could make more money if I was actually driving the rig a couple days a week myself.
Yep, understood. I mean, it's
yeah, and I'm just trying to be, I'm trying to work it out.
so it is a union position. You would start at the shifts that were listed, but as you gain seniority, there's a little more. It's a bit. You can bid.
Okay.
And,
I think I could do the 410s though, because that's 3 days off.
Yeah, and it's always going to be the 410s, but you can sort of have a little bit more control over your schedule. The longer you're there.
So I lied, I am going to stop it one more time here before we finish it up. So this individual is an owner-operator, been doing it for a long time, and wants to continue to drive as well. And once again, I think a missed opportunity on the recruiter's part to have a conversation about that. So, okay, if you've been an owner-operator a long time, what's making you want to come into the shop, right? And it sounds like you still want to drive some, but tell me a little bit about what's going on there. What a great opportunity to get to know the individual and once again see if it might be a good fit for them. Because if it's not, let's have that conversation now, because what we're about to listen to is, the recruiter wants them to reply to an email, put together a resume, list out their qualifications, and that just doesn't seem fair if it's not a good fit. Now it may be, we don't know yet, but let's ask a few more questions to better understand what's motivating the individual.
So I can get you.
I'd definitely like to interview for it then.
Okay. So I just sent you an email. Can you reply back to that with your resume,
Sure.
or even a piece of one, and then I'll be.
I gotta tell you, I haven't made one for myself in a long time, but I'll make one up.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of give me like the last 5 years and as many technical skills as you're comfortable with.
Okay, no problem.
As soon as I get that, I'll give you a call back and I'll send you over to the shop superintendent.
Okay, you got it, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. So fairly short call, like we talked about. And circling back to where we started, that one thing, which is make the call about that individual. And the information you discuss really should be relevant to them. And how do you know if it's relevant? because you took the time up front to ask some questions, to get to know them, what they're looking for, why they're thinking about a move or a switch, like what is going on there. That way, early on, if it's not a good fit, don't have them do the whole resume thing and type stuff up and reply to an email. Now, in fairness, it could be a good fit, but I would have thought that the recruiter would have taken a little bit more time, knowing how difficult it can be to onboard new diesel technicians, to really better understand the individual and get to know them. So avoid, especially early on in the call, making it all about you instead of making it about the person calling in. So if you do that, one thing I'm confident that it will lead to a better phone call and both parties will have a better experience. So appreciate you tuning in. We hope you continue to listen to future episodes where we will talk about what's working well and what to maybe do better next time. Thank you so much.